lot of people, I was surprised watching all last year with Colin Kaepernick. Guy praised a murdering thug dictator. He had socks that depicted cops as pigs. And other issues. He actually donated to a charity that actually supported a cop killer. And then we saw the NFL. And you took it on, it appears, based on the letter that Roger Goodell put out yesterday, that Donald Trump initiated a debate over standing for the flag and our anthem and those that fought, bled, and died, and looks like you won.
So I watched Colin Kaepernick, and I thought it was terrible. And then it got bigger and bigger and started mushrooming. And frankly, the NFL should have suspended him for 1 game, and he would have never done it again. They could have then suspended him for 2 games, and they could have suspended him if he did it a 3rd time for the season, and you would never have had a problem. But I will tell you, you cannot disrespect our country, our flag, our anthem. You cannot do that.
Obviously, the people of the country are with you. Hundreds of thousands of people fought, bled, hundreds of thousands died fighting under that flag.
Right.
When you look at the Obama years, Chicago, one city, his adopted hometown, 3,900 people were murdered. Yeah. In the last 6 years of Obama's presidency, 18,000 shootings. I don't think he mentioned it but 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And disproportionately, his economic policies hurt Black Americans, Hispanic Americans more.
That's very sad.
How will your policies help minorities that are still struggling?
Well, first of all, minorities want police protection more than anybody. They need it more than anybody. It's what's going on is crazy. And you look at some of these inner cities where it's just out of control. And remember, I was saying things like, we will, you know, what do you have to lose? We will fix it. We're going to fix it. But one of the things we're doing very strongly now is the inner cities. Now, Chicago is out of control. I don't know what they're doing in Chicago to have this many shootings and this many killings and all of the different things that are going on. This is not like it's the United States of America. And pure and simple, that's bad management. That's bad politics. It's incredible. And then you talk to them, why aren't you doing something? They don't even want to talk to you about it. It's really insulting to our nation. And whether you take on the NFL or you take on Chicago and some of our other cities, there shouldn't be murders like this. And you know, we have incredible police in this country. They could stop it if they were allowed to do their job. They could stop it. Thank you. Sean, in many cases, it's the police are not allowed to do their job. They have to be politically correct. We're talking about lives of wonderful people, and they have to be allowed to do their job. And you will see it stop. I'll never forget, I was in Chicago, and a police officer, there was a motorcycle deal to the plane, and I was talking to the police. I was taking a picture. I said, how do you stop this? We could stop it immediately, sir. I said, what do you mean you can stop it immediately? If they'd let us do our job, we could stop it immediately. Now, at some point, you're going to have to let them do their job. And they want to do their job. That's the incredible thing. We did it on the border. The border was like a sieve. Now it's down 78%. And that's without the wall. Wait till you see what happens when we build the wall. But General Kelly has done an incredible job. These are people, they know how to do it, but they have to be allowed to do it. You look at the difference in the border.
We saw Rudy Giuliani in New York.
Rudy did a fantastic job in New York, and that's an example. And Rudy was on our campaign, and when Rudy endorsed me, to me, that was a very important endorsement because he did a great job, especially with respect, well, you could also say economic development, but especially with respect to crime in New York City.
We watched a lot of high-profile incidents during the Obama years. Ferguson, Trayvon Martin down in Florida, Freddie Gray. He said the Cambridge Police Act that stupidly. It seems every 2 or 4 years, and I've been now 30 years in radio. I just started my 23rd year at Fox. That every 2 or 4 years, thank you.
Good job.
Every 2 to 4 years, the Democrats will play the race card, and I resent it as a conservative. Because they'll say, oh, their policies, they're racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic. And meanwhile, their policies haven't helped the minority communities in America. Is there a way, from the federal government's perspective, that you can bring economic opportunity?
Totally. I mean, look.
And safety.
And that's what we've said. You look at what's happened in our inner cities. They're it's horrible what's going on in terms of the death, in terms of shooting. A woman gets up and she wants to go on walk and with her beautiful daughter, get a loaf of bread, and she ends up getting shot, or the daughter gets shot. And we can stop it. Don't forget, the Democrats have ruled the inner cities for 100 years. This is their rule. Very rarely do you have a Republican there, but this is their rule. That can be turned around. We can do so many things, but the Democrats have truly ruled. And when I was running, I would always say, what do you have to lose? I remember this came up out of nowhere. I'm reading the statistics of a certain inner city, which were terrible. Education is terrible. Crime rate is terrible. Every single element, economic development, jobs, everybody was unemployed. And I said, I'm saying, and I look at the audience, I say, what the hell do you have to lose? The place went crazy. And then I'd actually use it again and again, and we went up. And we're doing a good job. Ben Carson's doing a great job at HUD. He's got great heart. He's got great heart. So, but the Democrats rule the inner cities. And when I say, what do you have to lose? It's so bad that really the Republicans should be starting to do very well. But we're doing a good job.